The Big Silz, top NFL general managers, as we get ready a month away from training camps. Here they are. Let's get the glasses. This is like reading the Frozen Orange report. Some of you will get that, some of you won't. Let's move on here. The Big Silz, top NFL general managers, as we get ready a month away from training camps. Here they are. Let's get the glasses. This is like reading the Frozen Orange report. Some of you will get that, some of you won't. Number 32, Ryan Poles, Bears general manager. This could drastically change. I think the Bears are a train wreck organization. I think the McCaskies have completely ran the franchise into the toilet. I think actually the franchise has never been the same since George Halas and actually Mike Ditka were there. They were kind of spotty good a little bit with Lovey, but outside of that, they've not been really good. They've just not been a great franchise for it's hard to believe they haven't been a very good franchise for the last 20 years. Now, this guy can improve because I don't know much of him. Okay? Number 31, Mensah 2 with the Vikings. I don't know much about him. I think the Vikings have a good core group, and I think Rick Spielman did a really great job, but had the role. They underachieved the last couple of years. I think that there's a great opportunity for these two men to improve. Okay? Number 30, Joe Schoen, Giants. Don't know much about him. He comes down from the Bills organization. Did a nice job working with the Bills and building that football team's roster up. Again, you're talking about guys getting brand new opportunities to go in and to improve rosters. The Giants have to improve that offensive line. The number one priority in New York right now is to find a quarterback and to improve your O-line. Those are two things that you do not want to be going into a camp not knowing what you have. Okay? Not knowing what you have. And the Giants, they're talentless at those positions right now. Dave Ziegler, Raiders. Don't know much about him. Brand new general manager going in for Mike Mayock. I think Mike Mayock and John Gruden did a heck of a job at building that football team back up again. I thought Del Rio did a nice job with that football team too. But you see now, the Khalil Mack deal paying off a little bit for the Raiders here. I don't know much about Ziegler, but we'll see. And again, the only reason they're down there is because I don't know much about them. Number 28, Nick Caserio. Now, I know Nick very well. He's with the Texans. He's got complete autonomy of that football team. He was able to get all the commodities and all the assets for Deshaun Watson, okay? How they go forward, I think they did a nice job by hiring Lovie Smith. I think Lovie Smith is a needed hire. They've got to get people in that building to calm the room down with a professional coach. Bill O'Brien was a good coach. Bill O'Brien was a shitty GM. Lovie understands that dynamic. He's worked well with people before, Jerry Angelo when he was in Tampa as an assistant, and he worked well with Jerry Angelo when he was up in Chicago. And personally, I think, again, when you get a guy like Lovie Smith in the room, it's a heck of a hire. Now, the McNair family have not been very good owners. We'll see what happens. And again, next couple of years, we're going to get a good understanding here where the Texans are going. And Nick is a good personnel guy. He brings down a lot of New England Patriot stuff with him. This general manager is one of the general managers I can't stand the most. Trent Baalke, Jaguars. I have no idea how he got this job. I have no idea. And I cannot believe that Doug Peterson has to work with him. This guy single-handedly destroyed the 49ers and that organization. He was the guy that had a campaign to try to get rid of Harbaugh, which Harbaugh left. The whole Kaepernick situation was under his watch. I mean, it was just, and then John Lynch had to go in and clean up everything because of what Trent Baalke had created there. That franchise had a lot of good things going for it. Remember something? Colin Kaepernick got that football team to a Super Bowl. They had a lot of talent on that football team. And Trent Baalke just absolutely decided to erode that team. This is the Big Silz 2022 top 32 NFL general managers. I'm going to say this. Fontenot with the Falcons, I think he is decent, but he's got so much of a mountain to dig out of. I really do. I just absolutely believe that franchise right now, they're years away from competing for a Super Bowl. And boy, are they going to be in for a quarterback this coming season. Marcus Mariota is not the answer. So the Falcons, I mean, I really don't think it matters who your general manager is right now. Brad Holmes, Lions, they're good. They're doing good things in Detroit. Chris Spielman's over his shoulder right now. They're doing some good stuff there. There's a good culture being built. They're trying to get people into building that want to be Lions. Dan Campbell, I actually like. I like some of the talent. I think their quarterback is inconsistent, and I've never been a fan of Jared Goff. And they've got to answer that question sooner or later. You know, it's funny. They had Matthew Stafford in the building, and they allowed that guy just to run out of the building there. Number 24, Scott Fitterer, Panthers. Again, another franchise. The head coach, too. In my opinion, I think he's a wash. I look at Matt Rule. Matt Rule has not impressed me since he's been named the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. He has not impressed me whatsoever. And to me, there needs to be a general manager and head coaching change. And you're going to have really a come-to-Jesus conversation, in my opinion, with David Tepper, if you're the GM and the head coach, and try to tell him the direction that you're trying to take that Panther team in. They struck out on the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, and now they're trying to make a deal supposedly for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield? Really? Number 23, Martin Mayhew, Washington Commanders. I actually like Martin Mayhew. I think he did a nice job with John Lynch as his second in command in San Francisco. Martin Mayhew has a pedigree of understanding talent. I believe he was in Detroit for a little bit, too, as general manager, too. Here's a former player that understands former players and also sees talent and is a pretty good evaluator. He's not Ozzie Newsome kind of guy, because I think Ozzie was brilliant at understanding when it comes to really finding talent. But Martin Mayhew, in my opinion, is a pretty solid guy, and you need solid people in Washington because there's very few of them. That thing's a complete train wreck in Washington. The thing you have going for you right now is Martin Mayhew and Ron Rivera, and you're lucky because the rest of it, I don't know who the players gravitate to when it comes to leadership. I mean, you got a quarterback you're still deciding on what the hell's going on with. You got a defensive coordinator that made an ass of himself this past week. You got an owner who is constantly in the news for the wrong things. I don't know how you win there. I just don't know how you win. Number 22, Chris Grier, Dolphins. A lot of pressure on this guy. Chris Grier was the guy that teamed up. You know what's funny? Everyone calls what Stephen Ross did to Brian Flores racist. Chris Grier's black too. A black GM fired a black coach. You know, in today's media, I know sometimes we exclude some of the facts, but a black general manager, which there are very few of in this league, fired him. Chris Grier wanted to stick with Tua. Brian Flores wanted Deshaun Watson. We're going to find out this year if Chris Grier is right, because his ass is on the line too. They brought the guy in, the offensive tackle from New Orleans. They brought in Tyreek Hill. They did a great job in drafting Jalen Waddle last year, 105 catches. They improved the run game, and their run defense is pretty decent. The Dolphins should be a player this year, an improvement, even more so of what they've done the last 2 years. Number 21, I got Joe Douglas here out of the Philadelphia Eagle front office. I actually think Joe Douglas, I had Joe way down a year ago. I actually think Joe Douglas is a riser in the NFL. If he can get the Jets to a winning season, and if he can show that Zach Wilson is the guy, Joe Douglas' stock is going to continue to rise. They really had a nice draft. They addressed a lot of needs. Their defense has to get better. Saleh, I don't know if he's the right coach or not. To me, it looks like he was in over his head last year. So he's got to prove to Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, that he's going to continue to improve the team. I actually like Joe Douglas. I think Joe's one of the guys, in my opinion, that's on the way and doing some things here. Young says the Jets get good people, but they just don't know how to use them. Correct. I agree with you 100%. Okay? I think I just think that they've had bad coaching. Really, do you know, you want to hear a stat? Jadis, you want to hear a stat about the Jets? Okay? Outside of Al Groves 1 year, do you know that the New York Jets only have one head football coach with a winning record? In the 60-plus years that the franchise has been on the planet, do you know that the Jets have one successful coach, and it's Parcells? That's it. One coach. I mean, not even Weeb Eubank, who won the Super Bowl in '69. Number 20, John Schneider, Seahawks. He's fallen. Used to be revered and used to be way up. I just think that they're running out of gas. And I'll tell you something. Is it me? But since the death of Paul Allen, have the Seahawks walked backwards? Okay? Ray, no Jet head coach has a winning record except for Parcells. Facts. Yeah, the Seahawks, since Paul Allen's death, there's another franchise walking back. Number 19, Steve Keim, Cardinals. You know, they want to get a deal done for Hollywood Brown in the offseason, and they want to try to get a deal done for Kyler Murray going into the training camp. My problem with Steve Keim, the GM of the Cardinals, he's so this. It's big swings and ups and downs. It's a seesaw in Arizona with him at the helm. Plus, he's had issues personally by himself, which has been a distraction to the organization at times. That, you know, when you're a GM like that, seen and not heard, you know, you don't want to be binocular Howie. That stuff's stupid. My general manager, I want him working, not working at his image and his presence in a city. Howie works at his persona, like he's some athlete or something. I think that shit's stupid. You're a general manager of a football team. You don't have a brand. You work for the brand. The head coach has a brand. Players have a brand. Owners and GMs don't have brands. You think Ozzie Newsome had a brand? He was a general manager. Ozzie's a Hall of Fame football player. He was different. 18, Jerry Jones. Jerry's different. He's the owner. He's the only owner on this list. Cowboys. Cowboys do really a great job of drafting. You know what they don't do a good job of? Paying them right. They overpay. Before you know it, you're in salary cap hell. Number 17, Chris Ballard, Colts. I think Chris has done a decent job. Okay? I do. I think Chris has done a decent job for Jim Irsay there in Indianapolis. Number 16, Andrew Barry, Cleveland. I don't know how the Deshaun Watson deal is going to play out, and I don't know how the Baker Mayfield situation plays out. Okay? He's done a nice job. They have. But the real question will be, when is Deshaun playing? That's going to be a huge question mark for them. Here you go. Number 15. John Lynch, San Francisco 49ers. John's done such a good job building this team. I'm a friend of his. I like him. But the indecision at the quarterback spot right now is you made a deal with the Dolphins. You gave away all those assets. Play the guy. Get rid of Garoppolo. Show some conviction here. They can't, because you know why? They're not sold on Trey Lance, no matter what they're telling you. And that leads me to believe that they think that they may have made a mistake with Trey Lance. That's why they don't want to cut loose. Jimmy Garoppolo's injury may be the best thing ever happened to them. Number 14, John Robinson, Titans. I dropped him because I thought he was doing a really great job in Tennessee. Dude, you don't want to pay A.J. Brown at 24 years of age then $20 million like everybody else is paying all these wideouts? Now, did the owner tell you not to do that? How do you let a 25-year-old A.J. Brown out of the building and let him go like that? Over cash. Hey, it's one thing if he sucked, and then you draft that kid Burks from Arkansas. Brother, you got some answering to do. Number 13, Duke Tobin, Bengals. This guy is doing a hell of a... Hey, for an organization that does not like, that does not like to spend money, Duke Tobin's done a nice job in Cincinnati. By the way, we're doing the top 32 NFL general managers, Big Silz, best GMs in the NFL going into training camp. Number 12, from your Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman. Howie's had a good track record. Not spectacular. Other guys have won Super Bowls on this list. Okay? The peaks and valleys have been kind of steep with the Eagles. They have been the most dominant team in the NFC East since 2000, which is a good thing. Not one of the better divisions in football, but it's not their fault. And they've done a nice job doing that. They've done a nice job. They have failed at the quarterback position incredibly. And since 2000, they've only hit the quarterback right once, and that was Donovan McNabb. The wide receiving cores have not been very good. They've been suspect. Tight ends have been great. O-line has been spectacular. Okay? Howie Roseman, number 12. Number 11, Bill Belichick, New England Patriots. You think Howie's better than Bill? Yeah. Okay. Really? Yeah. Okay. Bill Belichick, one of the best talent evaluators. Look at the quarterbacks that he had at one time in his room. Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jacoby Brissett, all ended up being NFL starters. And he drafted all of them. And you can say whatever you want to say about Bill Belichick not being able to draft wideouts. He can draft quarterbacks. Oh, by the way, Mac Jones, not a bad draft. Got his team to the playoffs in his rookie season. Tom Telesco, number 10, Chargers. That Charger football team, in my opinion, you know where I think the Chargers fail? At coach. They don't fail in personnel. That's a loaded roster. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James on defense, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Justin Herbert, the kid they drafted at offensive tackle. It's littered with talent. They got to win some ball games, man. But Tom does a great job at putting people in the building. Okay? All right. I'm going to give you the rest of the 10. Actually, let me finish it. I'm going to finish it, Xander. Number 9, George Paton. Broncos. Look at the job that they've done in the offseason here. Okay? Look at the job that they've done in the offseason here. I mean, now the question is going to be moving forward here with new ownership with the Walmarts. Okay. I just think that it's going to be interesting to see the direction, because we just saw the direction of the Seahawks since Paul Allen has passed. Number 8, I think this may be low. Who would you rather have as general manager? Eric DaCosta or Howie Roseman? Those Ravens, man, they never miss. They never miss. They are brilliant. From Ozzie to this guy. This guy was taught under Ozzie. They are brilliant in that Ravens front office. They never get a draft wrong. They are so good at what they do. Number 7, Jason Licht, Buccaneers. Convinced Brady to come down. Convinced all those veterans to stay. Hey, man. Really just a nice job there, too. 6, he's retired. So I'm still gonna put Kevin Colbert there because he's still in the front office and he's leaving. And they just named a new general manager, but Kevin Colbert, Steelers, they absolutely do it right. Even though I'm going to give you a stat that contradicts that a little bit, especially over the last 13 years. Here's your top 5 general managers in the National Football League. I think Mickey Loomis with the Saints is brilliant. One of the top 5 guys that's in the league, and he's been one of the top 5 general managers for 15 years. Constantly retooling, doing a fine job. A lot of people like Dennis Allen as the new head coach, taking over for Sean Payton. Mickey Loomis's resume is second to none. Brett Veach, Chiefs, working with Andy Reid. Talk about talent evaluating. Really a nice job. And you know what you're really starting to hear now? He's starting to get a little bit more autonomy in who he wants in the draft. And Andy, from what I'm understanding now, is giving him that autonomy in the draft and in the draft rooms when they're talking about going after a guy. And Andy works with him hand in hand. So you could actually put him and Andy there at number 4. Brian Gutekunst, Packers. I don't know. Last 3 years, Green Bay Packers have won 39 ball games. They got a reigning MVP 2 years in a row. They're constantly in the conversation for the NFC Championship. Last 30 years, the Packers have been brilliant with 2 players. Okay? Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. 30 years of football. And the Packers are always in the conversation. Number 2, Brandon Beane, Bills. Best roster in football. Best roster in football. And number 1, this football team doesn't seem to have a salary cap. Got to say the number 1 general manager in all of football is Les Snead. How does he do it? How does he do it? Allen Robinson, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, needs Dominic Sue back in the day. How do they do it? How do they cut? It seems like they don't have a salary cap. That they constantly, I mean, Kevin Demoff, I know the president of the team came out and said, I don't know if we can keep this model going, but right now it's the best model in football. It's about winning today. It's not about winning 3 years from now like Howie believes. Howie's philosophy is, I want to win 3 years from now. Les Snead's opportunity is to win today. Most fans want to win today. Les Snead wants to win today. Howie doesn't. Howie wants to win over the next 3 years. Now, that's Brandon Beane's mentality too, though. I'll explain. We'll reset the list. We'll go over your thoughts if you think I'm wrong anywhere. Top of the hour. Don't forget also, Rick Barry's going to join us in hour 3. Game 6 tonight, NBA Finals. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.